Happy Wednesday. This is Lynn from Devine Central. I'm here with your weekly tarot mailbag reading. And we have quite a situation to talk about today. Let's get it for you here. As usual, I am not going to divulge location or names. Suffice it to say, I have a 25-year-old woman here who says, I just got engaged last weekend to a wonderful guy who I've been dating for 2 years. After I posted our engagement pictures on social media, his ex reached out and asked me not to marry him because he's physically and emotionally abusive. I've never met this woman, however, I did know her name. She told me he sent her to the hospital multiple times, but she never pressed charges because his mother begged her not to. She did send me pictures of her injuries, but obviously that doesn't prove it was him. In 2 years, I've never noticed anything abusive. He told me she's always been a liar, and I can ask his mom if I don't trust him. But he also said that if I can trust a total stranger over him, then maybe we shouldn't get married. I trust him, but I know that people can hide their true colors. It's a terrible thing for someone to lie about something so fierce. Is it true, or is she just jealous? What can you tell me? All right. So that's the conundrum that we have today. Let's go to the other camera so we can see. I've already shuffled the cards. So let's lay them out as such. This is going to be our subject. This will be what precipitated it, or the backstory, if you will. Here's what she can do to help herself. Here's what she can do to hinder herself. And here is, I want to say, kind of a final outcome. We will pull the bottom card of the deck, excuse me, to see if Spirit has anything for us on this, okay? Knight of Wands. As a person, this is somebody who is extremely passionate and compassionate. He's a mover, he's a shaker, he's a bull in a china shop, but he's certainly not abusive. And as a situation, it tells us that even in the most difficult times, we can still come out ahead. It's that enthusiasm, it's that positive forward motion that the fire of the Knight and of Wands brings us. So what precipitates that? Well, I think that we've got the Page of Cups here. And so I think that back in the day when he was younger, this is somebody who we already know is an emotional, compassionate person. But when we're very, very young, especially if it's our first love, we can become extremely, I don't know how best to say it. Our emotions take over and they're so strong, we just don't know how to handle them. And oftentimes, if you are in a relationship with somebody who you're not totally compatible with, it can become combative. You know, your feelings are just so tense and so strong, and you're butting heads, and it can just come out to the degree where I'm not surprised that maybe he was in a combative situation with somebody. But these cards don't show anything about it being that toxic or that dark. So I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm saying that maybe she's living in her own reality, and maybe there is a little truth that she's, trying to set this girl up to some degree. But could she have been abused by him? Possibly. But at least we know that from his beginnings to now, he's grown. He's grown from a page to a knight. That means he's grown emotionally and learned how to handle that passion that is in his heart. So what can she do to help herself? Well, I would take his advice and I would visit with his mother. The Queen of Swords stands for truth. And I think that if she sits down with the mother, I think she could get the truth. But only if she approaches her logically. Because the Queen of Swords is also an extremely protective mother. And I have no doubt in my mind that she would go to whatever ends to protect her son. So she's not going to throw him under the bus. I would sit down in person without telling her why first, because her first reactions, her facial reaction, her body language will really either grow that pit in your stomach or shrink it down. But I think that if you show her the pictures and tell her what was said and just let her have her say, I think that you will. I think she will be the linchpin here to what direction you're going to head with this. Now, how can this gal hinder herself? Listen, this is the Two of Wands, definitely at a crossroads, but this is about looking at what you want to see and maybe not what's really there. So this gal has her heart pinned on she just got engaged last week. She's excited. She wants this relationship, this love, and she doesn't want to see anything outside of that. So I think that what she can do to hinder herself is by not really asking herself, am I seeing everything that's here? And tackling all the different avenues, in search of the truth. The final card is the Justice card, and justice, it's partially about karma. It's partially about what goes around comes around. And I think that if he has proven himself to be responsible and kind and compassionate and not abusive, then maybe he deserves that break, that trust. But I do believe that you're in the center of this situation, and you need to look at both sides, and you need to weigh it very carefully, because this is a big deal going forward. I would also like you to consider to sit down with him and his mother and turn this into a positive. Say, hey, how lucky are we? We have a lifetime together. We have a lifetime of hurdles that we're going to have to cross. And how lucky are we that we get an opportunity right out of the chute to see how well we can do that as a couple, and maybe turn it into a positive on how you're going to handle it. It doesn't have to be, like a fun situation. I'm just saying that, it'll probably be a little tense, but make it okay to be tense. Make it okay to talk it out. Get him, because that's not typically like him. It's not typically like most guys. So let's see what Spirit has to offer. Bottom of the deck. Oh my gosh, we have the Four of Pentacles. In a love reading, this is somebody who is protecting their heart from loss. So I think that he absolutely fears that he is going to lose you. I think he's afraid that you're going to believe her over him. And I think wants to just be the first one to say, oh, well, yeah, why don't you just go? But I don't think that's the Wands talking. I don't think that's this passionate, loving, over-the-top knight talking. I think it's just a typical guy thing myself. Guys, he doesn't want to sit around and wait for you to tell him that you're not interested anymore. He wants to stand up and maybe be the first to lay it out so he looks more manly. But honestly, I think he's protecting his heart. I think he's he doesn't know if he should shut down or not. And I think that you need to let him know that he doesn't have to withdraw from this, that it's just a matter of talking it out. And because this is a 4, I think basically he's kind of stable now where he might not have been before. I'm having some focus. Oh, there we go. So I think that, there's no toxicity here. I find it really hard to believe. I don't know how sinister the ex is, because you don't know her, because you only know her name and you only heard of her. There is none of her energy around this querent in order for us to even be able to conjecture over whether or not, this gal's telling the truth or not. So I think that the decision is yours, but the bottom line here is going to be get to the truth. So that's the reading for today. I hope it's something that resonated with somebody in the group here. If you have any comments, please post them below. And also, please like the video. If you do, that will get me more recognition for my channel. And if you have any questions, please feel free, or situations that you'd like me to read on, please just send them to me. And if you are traveling, I wish you safe travels this week with Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a good Thanksgiving, and I will see you next Thursday. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, this week is Zodiac Monthly Readings Week, so I'll be back with 12 Zodiac readings for you shortly. Bye-bye.